Kigusini gong lagoy ketinyege ak budget noton nagay much ko somana Minister in Ministry nebo Lingu ta borot noton go John Mbadi entai ta bunge nebo borot noton go budget nebo trillion angwana kenuch oeng nebo kenyitab 2025 kenyitab 2025 olenitana kosipke ak Mbadi umwoe kole tan ko budget nitokyinge kikimit kakwout kikikanaptoena kayumet nebo aisurut ak oranyo asike kanapta uchumi nebo emoni kama Mbadi kole kasarta nekokitet budget initana kokusigong oratinwek kibendi kowegu uchumi ko agenda agenge nebo bottom up economic model akora kekusigong kakwout kikimuch kosuldaen serikalitab emoni en kasarta nebo kenyisiek oeng chebo walet en bikab emoni kama kole alagen walutichuton ko tetutik yokoe kobit walutik en sekta nebo mungaret kabatisiet somanet tililindo en kwen nebo sectors alak kole en kasratana kokimit Mbadi kakwout kikiboisien na chikebosen besenwogik agora besenwogik anak kiregunen aliet noton nebo sabet agora kirindaet nebo ibunet nebo besenwogik kobun emotinwek chebo sang.
This budget, Mr. Speaker, speaks to these rights and reaffirms the priority policies and strategies aimed at stimulating economic recovery articulated in the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, otherwise known as BETTER, while highlighting the achievements over the past 2.5 years in enhancing the livelihoods of Kenyans. At its core, BETTER has adopted a value chain approach, focusing on strategic investment in areas that generate the highest impact, particularly in job creation and income generation at the grassroots level. Mr. Speaker, significant successes have been achieved through targeted intervention and structural reforms. These measures have laid a solid foundation for economic recovery and set us on a path towards long-term growth and stability. Mr. Speaker, let me mention just a few achievements under BETTER. First, the Kenyan economy has remained resilient and registered an average growth of 5.2% for the period between 2023 and 2024, outpacing both global growth of 3.3% and 3.8% for the sub-Saharan African region over the same period. Other macroeconomic fundamentals such as inflation and exchange rates have strongly rebounded and are projected to remain stable. Second, the government has rolled out fertilizer and seed subsidies to farmers across the country, and that has boosted production in key food value chains and revived underperforming or collapsed export crops such as pyrethrum. Since February 2024, Mr. Speaker, a total of 6.5 million registered farmers have benefited from the fertilizer subsidy program. And as a result of these initiatives, the cost of fertilizer has declined by 67%, from Kenya shillings 7,500 in 2022 to 2,500 in 2025.
Kasatana ga much ko soman budget na bang tabel fusyoga ng aktip sa magmot kanya tabel fusyoga ng aktip sa maglo kama Minister in Ministry na Lingu John Mbadi kule en budget ni tan gumagi much ketes anagi chuchuch ice road agatugala ole moy gole gogi much kinde ga quote ki human ice road kore tagenge na bagobit kergeinda.
It was clear. Since I took office at the National Treasury and Economic Planning, I assured Kenyans that we shall strive to reduce tax burden. In this respect, the Finance Bill of 2025 has neither proposed new taxes nor raised any tax rates. Instead, we have chosen to enhance tax revenue collection through administrative reforms by simplifying and streamlining tax laws to make them clearer and easier to implement, thereby improving taxpayer compliance. The process also involves rationalization of tax expenditure to enhance equity and fairness. Mr. Speaker, the revenue foregone through tax incentives or tax expenditure has increased significantly, rising from Kenya shillings 393.1 billion, which is equivalent to 2.9% of GDP in 2022, to 510.6 billion, which is equivalent to 3.4% of GDP in 2023. To reverse this trend, the Finance Bill of 2025 proposes reforms to rationalize tax expenditures so as to promote equity, fairness, efficiency, and reduce distortions within the tax system. The proposed reforms are in line with the national tax policy and the medium-term revenue strategy which this Honorable House passed. So, Mr. Speaker, from the proposed reforms, we expect to raise
Kotinge ak tetutik chebo somanet koma John Mbadi kole boisie ministry not nebo lengut ak ministry nebo somanet koker kole kakimuch kikimit sector not nebo somanet ak kitaban chepkondok kiame ak noton missing ko tetutik chetinyege ak lipanet not nebo tiemutik ak noton kowendi serikalitab emoni kotesetai kotie kokoitoet nebo tiemutik ak kora kotoret kipsomaninik missing ko chebunu korik chemaimuchige oret agenge nebo konyorchige somanet en kergeindo.
Mr. Speaker, the National Treasury is committed to upholding the right to education, including free and compulsory basic education as guaranteed under Article 53B of the Constitution of Kenya. While we are cognizant that examinations must be conducted as scheduled later this year, there is need to undertake a critical evaluation of the costing of examination, assess the sustainability of the program in view of the prevailing fiscal constraints, and explore optimal options for delivering national examinations in order to ensure economy and value for money in public spending. Mr. Speaker, a key consideration is the merits of public funding of examination fees for all primary and secondary school candidates, including those from well-off households, as opposed to targeting the vulnerable students in our schools. We should also explore options of making the exercise of delivering national examinations simple and affordable, without compromising the credibility of the exercise. To this end, the National Treasury is in consultations with the Ministry of Education on how best to achieve this at a minimal cost possible, including evaluating possible cost-sharing mechanisms. Mr. Speaker, the government remains committed to ensuring access to quality education for all children. In this regard, I assure the public and the 2025 examination candidates of our commitment to provide adequate funding for 2025 national examinations.